Good day, everyone. I hope you all had a fantastic Friday. I got a surprise for you, maybe. Um, what you're gonna get is another Mafia vlog. Ha 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 ha. So I opened today. I was tempted to try to go see a movie because I heard there was a theater opening with another showing of Star Wars: The Force Awakens. And turns out I talked to the guy who went to that and made it so that I knew about it. And he said there was lots of trouble, and they wound up being put back into the main theater and stuff. Um, but I guess you get to see the whole movie. He's the guy that we're going with tomorrow as well, so interesting. He did a really good job of not giving anything away, though. I explained one of my theories to him about the movie. Um, and he didn't confirm or deny it. He didn't give any visual clues, so that was good. Um, so opening the store. My manager worked the mid, so I was able to, I don't know, just kind of talk and catch up a little bit. I'm wearing this shirt. Metaphors be with you. Um, yeah, and then got off work at about 2:30. Came home, got something to eat, chilled here for a little while. Got ready to go to this Christmas party we were going to. And it was down in Windermere near Disney. Throughout the day, I was trying to figure out if we were gonna carpool with other people that were up on this end of town or not. I had a friend who doesn't have a car who was trying to make it out there, and we couldn't really make it happen. Couldn't get the carpool to come together either, so it wanted to just be me and Heather going down. Heather drove, and luckily this friend who doesn't have a car was able to find a ride with someone. I guess a friend of his, someone I had never met. And so we made it out and we went to the Christmas party. We had food and we watched Elf and had a Christmas ornament exchange. I brought an ornament that my mom had extra. She was like, "Yeah, go ahead." I was just gonna not participate, so I took it. Went out there. Everyone did ornaments. Um, I was number 10, and I went up there, and lo and behold, what do I find? I find two ornaments left and a bag of candy instead of an ornament. And I'm like, not gonna complain about that. There was a candy cane in there. Technically, that's an ornament. Um, and so I grabbed that because honestly, I didn't want an ornament. So, and then after that, we decided we're gonna go ahead and play a game of Mafia. So, we get a deck of cards. We make a Mafia deck basically on the spot and play a game of Mafia. And they actually played another game, I think, but we had to leave because Star Wars is in the morning. So, let me tell you what happened in this game. I was a cop. This other guy was a cop. Someone was a nurse. We had three brand new players who had never played before. Another couple players who were fairly new and only played once, twice, three times, something like that. Um, as it turned out, four of those people were Mafia. And the very first night, an attempt was made on someone's life in the game, and they were able to be saved by the nurse. Which usually, when that happens, it indicates that the person who was just attempted to be killed was, in fact, the nurse, because the nurse generally saves themselves unless a more important role comes forward and needs to be protected, like a cop. Um, so basically, the nurse was outed right away because the Mafia tried to kill her. What that told us was that there was at least one smart player on the Mafia who knew she was a threat. But unfortunately, what it also did is it tied our hands as cops of being able to come forward and reveal something. Well, on the very first night, we investigated someone and found him guilty. And so we're like, how can we bring this forward? Because the nurse was just exposed. So we don't bring it forward right away. and the town decides to vote for someone who wound up being innocent. I didn't think he was guilty, so I didn't vote for him, and the majority still won out, and he was taken out of the game. Then someone else had to leave, so the person who was just taken out, who was town, hadn't seen anything, jumped into the other guy's role. Wound up staying town though. I heard movement directly off to my left. One of the new players, the very first night, but we decided to investigate someone else. He was Mafia. So I'm thinking there could be something right here with this guy right next to me. Later on, I heard, well, let's get to that. Let's go in order. So we take out, so the Yakuza strikes. That's right. The Yakuza strikes and turns our nurse. Very obvious choice. That wasn't fooling anyone. We were all like, it's gotta be her. It's gotta be her. So the cops decide to investigate, and we investigate the nurse, the former nurse, find out she is in fact Mafia now. And so we have two Mafia pegged now. Now the trick is, again, there is no nurse in the game, so there's no way to save ourselves. So we have to somehow get this to work. So after a lot of badgering, we managed to not vote out the person who was turned, but our Miller happens to have a gun, and he uses it and kills her. Alright, that means we get another lynching. So we wind up successfully lynching the first person we investigated. And so suddenly both those players are out of the game, and the most experienced Mafia are out of the game, and there's not really any experienced Mafia left. So he's had a bunch of new people. Well, these new people aren't terrible, because while we're taking out the person we investigated, who also had a gun, was in fact Mafia and shot the other cop, who was being more vocal about it than me. I didn't let on that I was onto him, that I knew. And so I was able to live, and so the gun was used up, but he was taken out. We went to sleep, and right up to my left, I hear mouths moving, even slight voice between them. I'm like, they're talking to each other. And so, and really they were talking to each other during the daytime also, as if they were on a team, because they were on a team, but they want to hide that fact, and they were acting as though they were. And it's kind of comical. So as the cop, I investigate the person right to my left, because I heard him moving the first night. I heard him moving that last night. I'm told no, he's innocent. And if I hadn't been hearing them talking between the two of them, I would have said, ah, man, probably not then. But because I heard that, I'm like, they're both Mafia. So I'm like, I got the Godfather pegged. He's the Godfather, he's innocent. The other person's probably guilty as well. But I knew that the Mafia was getting a little smarter, and so I figured I'm probably going to be the one to die next, because it made sense, and my fellow cop kind of gave it away a little bit. So I thought, I need to make sure I say something. So we woke up in the morning, and I immediately said, I heard these two talking. And luckily one of the people heard me. So we were able to get a first and a second, and take out, not the person I investigated, but the other person. And so he was taken out of the game. And ultimately we came down to a final four. A final four which consisted of two Mafia, the Godfather that we knew about, and someone else who was turned by a Yakuza. Turned out it was the Miller was turned. And on the other side you have gunsmith and a normal townsperson that happens to have a gun from the gunsmith. And we're tied at 2 going into a lynching vote. And you have to have a majority for lynching vote, which means you need at least 3. And since we know 2 are Mafia and 2 are town, we cannot, or they cannot, I'm already out of the game, because I was taken out. Yeah. So we were out of the game. I was out of the game. I lost my train of thought. It's just gone. I don't know. So at any rate, they take out the person to the left of the person to my left, and they take him out, and so yeah, we're at the final four. That's right. 2 Mafia, 2 Town. A tie. Going into a lynching, you need a majority, so Mafia has to vote together, and then you can't lose. Except that there's one way out. There's a gun. Gun in the hands of one of the newest players to the game. She's not sure what's going on, and she knows that she doesn't know what she should do with her gun. And so it tries to be pointed out, not very well. It confused her. Basically, that all she has to do is use her gun, and if she shoots the one other townsperson, if she's town, then the Mafia wins. If she shoots a Mafia, the town will win. If she herself is Mafia, it's even better for her because then she can shoot the other townsperson and win the game as well. The other townsperson came forward as the gunsmith, so that basically cleared her. And so they wind up eventually figuring out to use the gun and taking out the person who was Yakuza'd. A smart player, probably would have maybe been able to help the Mafia win. Instead, didn't because he was taken out. Leaving 3, 1 Mafia, gunsmith, and the townsperson. And you need 2 to vote out, so we get a first, we get a second, but we don't get an immediate, when we vote, we don't get an immediate vote out. And so we give him a second chance because she's new, and we try to make sure she understands, and so we try to explain it to her. And eventually she does get it. Technically we shouldn't have said much because we were all out of the game, but the game was about to end, and it was about to end maybe the wrong way just because of a misunderstanding. So myself and a dead Mafia both speak up and try to explain the situation to her. And the right thing happens. She votes with the gunsmith, takes out the Mafia, and the town wins. But it was pretty good. Pretty good game overall. And then, like I said, I think they were playing another game, gonna play another game when I left, but had to go home because tomorrow is Star Wars: The Force Awakens. So I will awaken with Force and get myself ready to go, basically. Cannot wait, but I've waited so long, and I can wait a few more hours, but not many hours. So with that, I'm going to say good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. And I will see you tomorrow after I watch Star Wars. Bye.